Alright, welcome everyone out to our bone broth class here at the St. George Farmers Market. Woo! So, St. George Farmers Market is amazing. It happens every morning, and we're so thankful that they give us the space to be able to do this class. And I want to thank you guys for taking the opportunity to learn and to be able to be here, to be able to learn about bone broth. It is such a nourishing, nutrient-dense food that will help you out so much. So I want us to be able to start off with a story first for you guys. So I want to start off with a story about a young gentleman who started out his life like most of us have. Not everyone has started out this way, but most of us have, where he grew up on a regular diet and moved through life, and he's making some better choices in his life on foods and such like that. And he was in college, and he was just working through things, figuring things out, and he very much loved physical activity. So he started getting into a lot more of the, extreme kinds of sports like people see it. So think CrossFit. That was his passion. CrossFit was his passion. He got into it. He loved the lifts. He loved, handstand push-ups. He loved all the different pull-ups and everything else that they do. WODs and such, if you know what that means. And it was amazing. He loved how he felt. He loved the physical activity that he could do. But there was something off. There was something that ended up happening over time. And what that was is that all of a sudden he started having some joint pain. And that joint pain specifically came right in his wrists. He had a lot of pain there because you're doing a lot of push-ups, you're putting a lot of pressure there, you're doing a lot of jerks and lifts, and so there's a lot of pressure of weight sitting right on your wrists. And perhaps you may have not been doing it the best technique or whatever, but needless to say, he started having some major pains where he actually avoided doing the things that he loved. He avoided actually putting his hands on the floor because they hurt. He avoided doing a lot of things that required him to shift his wrists. And he really hated it. He really hated not being able to do what he wanted to, not being able to live the life that he wanted to live. And so he decided that he was going to figure some way to be able to change this. It was too big of a problem. It was stopping him from doing too many things. And it was time to change. So he looked around and he researched and he tried to figure out, what can I do? And he stumbled upon bone broth. Bone broth? How does that help? That was his question too. But he understood that bone broth had properties, gelatin, which helps out with collagen, which is what's inside our wrists, that would help him to be able to heal that. That over time we wear down our wrists and our joints. And so he was like, okay, I'll give this a try. And so he started making bone broth. He started, he even got some collagen supplements, which help out as well. So a month passed, 2 months passed. And guess what happened to that gentleman? His wrist stopped hurting. They were totally fine. And he was able to do the things he wanted to do. Now, at the beginning of this story, most people would have chalked it up to, oh, you're getting arthritis, kid. Don't worry, that's what happens when you get older. And he could have just said, that's how it is. The world's unfair. I'm doomed for this the rest of my life. But it's not true. Because he beat the odds. He decided to do something about what was going on in his life. And he healed the problem that he had. And now he can live his life how he wants. This story is actually about myself. I was that young man. I was that person doing all these things, and I was eating healthy, and I thought, I got this. I rule the world. But he didn't know enough, and I learned what I needed, and I was able to heal my own wrists to be able to help them get better, so I can live my life the way I want to live it. And now I'm here teaching you so you can live your life the way you want to live it.
All right.
We don't have to let things control us. We control how our body functions and not the other way around. So, without further ado, my name is Chase Campbell, and I am a traditional foods instructor. And my mission and my goal is to help people like you heal, change, thrive in a world where some people and a lot of people don't think we can anymore. That we need to rely upon other things. A lot of what doctors say, a lot of pharmaceuticals, a lot of all these other supplements that are not needed for our lives. And that the easy answer is the food we put in our body. And it's that simple. How we prepare it, what we do with it, and how we put it into our body. And that is what I'm here to be able to show you today. That is why I'm here to teach you about bone broth. Because I am going to be here to walk you through, guide you upon your path to raising to that level of where you want to be. So, what do you say?
Woohoo!
Are you guys in?
Yeah!
Let's do it! Alright, so I'm going to get started, and I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit about what we're going to be making up, how we're going to do it, and I'm also going to be showing you a little bit more of the why we're doing this, which brings me to that great point. I think that's where I'm going to start today, is helping you understand a little bit more about the why of what's going on. So I'm going to bring you over to my board real quick. So, for all of you there, I will be attaching a document to this video, which you guys can print off, a little handsheet, worksheet. It's going to have the recipe, it's going to have the 3 whys, and some other tips and tricks for you and your family to help you guys out. So this will be on here, but pay close attention, okay? If there's anything, there's 3 things you can take away from this class, it's going to be these 3. So it's going to be on your handout, okay? So, why? Why should I do bone broth? Let me write them out for you. Alright, so number 1 is it provides gelatin for your body. Now, gelatin, why is that important? Gelatin is one of the building blocks to creating collagen in the body, and collagen is what supports your joints and your ligaments and everything else. So that's going to help out with your joint health. And gelatin. All right. So our second point is very important for us to understand, is that it strengthens and heals the connective tissue. So that, once again, correlates with our body, with our skin, helps out with that, helps out with our hair, helps out with our joints, our ligaments. So if you have ligament struggles, that's a huge thing for people that are going through that. If you have skin problems like eczema, or if your skin cracks, or if it's starting to get wrinkly, also helps out with that. That's a collagen problem. All right? And then the third one is that it is easily absorbed nutrients. So bone broth, we are boiling it, right? We're boiling it down, we're boiling it, and by doing so, we're drawing all of this nutrients out of the bone broth. And it's drawn it out of the bones into the broth, making bone broth. And so now it's a liquid. We don't even have to chew this thing. We just have to drink it, and it goes right into our body really nicely. And we absorb all of this amazing nutrients. So why do people use broth, like chicken broth and other broths, for when you're sick? Well, the body usually does not like a lot of other solid foods when they're sick, but the broth easily passes through, so we don't have to digest it as much. So we can and it gives the nutrients we need, but also allows the body to be able to do the healing that it requires of itself in order for you to be able to heal up. So you can add this in a lot of other things, rice, gravies and sauces, you can just do a soup, whatever. It is such an easy nutrients to be able to get into your body. So these are our big 3 key golden nuggets, if I'm going to say that I want you to take away from today. Provides gelatin for you, strengthens and heals your connective tissue, and is easily absorbed nutrients. All right. So there's our three big takeaways. Now, one thing that I do need to go over once again is that what is bone broth? So bone broth is when we take bones of any kind of different animal. So we could do chicken, we could do pork, we could do beef, we could do turkey, whatever. We take them and we boil them for long amounts of time in water in order to be able to pull the nutrients out of the bones. It's as simple as that. We are using everything that we have at our disposal. We're not throwing away the bones, we're using them, we're getting the nutrients and able to use all of the animal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You follow me? Yeah. Awesome. All right. I love it. Okay, so we are now going to move on to me showing you how to be able to do this. All right? How do we make bone broth? And also, a lot of people out there are like, bone broth. I don't even know. I don't even know where to start with that. I mean, it's this mysterious thing. It's like, what kind of bones? How long? It takes a while. Blah 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 blah. Yes, it can be a very mysterious thing. But I'm here to demystify all of the many myths that you have going on right now. All right. What you are going to need to be able to make bone broth is you are going to need bones. So you can see this. These are some beautiful pork bones that I have here. I collected from a friend of mine. Actually, not a friend. I collected from a friend, yes, not so friend, but I collected from an event up at Red Acres from Sego Restaurant. These are pork bones that we're making today. Then you're going to need apple cider vinegar. So what the vinegar is it actually helps to be able to penetrate into the bones and then help to be able to draw the nutrients out, to be able to help out with that process. Then we're going to need some parsley, fresh or just herb like I have. You're going to need a big stock pot, like a big stock pot. Like look at this baby. This is 2 quarts. No, this is a 2-gallon stock pot, so 8 quart. It's going to do the job. You are going to need a lot of water. So this is about 1 gallon of water, filtered water. It's very important that you have filtered water because filtered water, let's just think about it. You're putting this into your body. You have all this great nutrients that you're putting out, and all of a sudden you have tap water, you have something that's contaminated. Let's think about this, okay? Let's really think about this. So filtered water is what we're looking for. And then I have an onion here that I'm going to add to it. This is just going to show that you can actually add in any kind of vegetables that you'd like. I mean, you could do zucchini if you wanted. You could do carrots. You could do onions. You could do celery. You could do blah, 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 blah. You know, there's many different things that you can do. So it's just going to add flavor. At the end of this, when we're done cooking, we're going to chuck everything in there. We're going to chuck the bones. We're going to chuck even the vegetables. Only thing they have to offer us, if there is any meat or the vegetables, is fiber. We can chuck them. Okay, we've taken all of the nutrients and placed it in the broth. End of story. Capiche? Capiche. Okay. So I'm going to get started. I'm going to show you just how we put this together and how easy it can be for you in your own home. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our bones and we're going to place them inside of our pot. Got some big bones. These things are breaking apart, so they're not just one big thing. But then we got fat, so it'd be okay to have add that fat in there. That's a good part. I got a lot of fat. It makes some good lard. Boom. Bones. Just dump it all in. Don't be shy. All right. So now that we got it in there, I'm going to shove it down a little bit just because it's being very deceptive by sticking up. And now what we're going to do is we're going to take our water and we're going to add it to this mix. Now, what we're looking for with this is that we want to be able to make sure that it is going to be above, like, if we can get an inch above the meat, just because we want it all submerged underneath the water. By doing so, it's going to allow us to get all the nutrients. out of the bones. If the bones out of the water, then the water isn't boiling, it isn't getting that part of the bone, and we're missing very much needed added nutrients out of it. Okay, awesome. Well, that was perfect. There we go. So everything's underneath the water. And that's exactly what we're looking for. It took me just about a gallon for this whole entire thing. How many pounds that was? I'd probably say that's a good 4 pounds of bones. That's actually what you're looking for in it is that amount of bones. Now you did see I did have some meat in there and some fat, which is what you want. The ratio for bone broth is 80% of what we call bony bones, where we strip the meat off and it's just a plain bone with just a little bit of meat hanging on it, and then 20% meaty bones. So we do want a little bit of meat in there because what it's going to add is flavor and color. Okay, and it's also going to help gel up our broth. What do I mean by that is that gelling of the broth is where when you cook it with those joint bones that we're looking for, is that it takes the gelatin from the joints and it puts it inside the broth. And so when this is all done and I put it in the fridge to let it go to sit in the fridge and cool down, it's actually going to gel up. You know Jello? It's like blah 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 blah. Well, it's gonna be just like that. Might be a little weird for some people, but it's gonna gel up just like that. Would you like to come and listen to the class? Okay, sounds good. You guys are more than free. I'm just doing a video too while I'm at it. He's gonna gel up, and that's actually what you're looking for. So don't be worried about that. We want that. We want joint bones in there to give us that. So when we're talking about that, we're talking about ribs, which these are. We're also talking about like knuckle bones for beef, neck bones for beef. We're talking about wings, drumsticks, thighs for chicken. Those are the kind of bones that we want to put inside of our broths. Other bones will work too, but those will work much better in getting that gelatinous goodness that's going to heal your body. So that's what we want to look for. So now we have that all in here. We're now going to put in our vinegar. So since we have bones of a bigger animal, so pork and beef, and lamb as well, they're the ones that constitute having a larger amount of vinegar because we need more vinegar to draw out more of the nutrients from the bones. Da, 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 da. So we are actually going to be adding a half a cup of vinegar into our water here. Lo and behold, I have just half a cup. Awesome. I'm going to drink this later. Okay. We're going to just pour that in to the water. Now, if you're doing chicken or turkey or any kind of poultry, you would actually only add in 2 tablespoons. Yeah, legitimately, 2 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar. And that's because they're much smaller bones, so they don't need as much. A little is going to do much more. With these bigger bones, we do need more. All right? So now that we've poured that in there, we have our little concoction going on here. We're actually going to let this sit for an hour. I'm not going to do that for this class, but you'll want to let this sit on your stove or on your counter for an hour. Reason being for that is because we want the vinegar to have time to be able to open up those bones and be able to pull things out, and that's the main plan. So that's what we're going to do at this moment for this bone broth. I'm just going to let it sit for a second, but I'm going to show you the rest of the process. So that's what you do at home when you're ready to be able to start doing the bone broth. All right, the next part is our vegetables. Yay! So since we are going to go ahead and not be eating everything, or eating the vegetables, we actually don't really have to peel this very much. This has a tag on it, so I'm peeling off the first layer. So just be careful of that. No tags in broth, please. That's just not a thing. Not a thing. Not very yummy. Okay. All right. I got the tag off, so that'll work. So you can actually keep the skin on, and we're gonna throw all of this in there because we don't need to strip it off. It's gonna add flavor. It's gonna have color once again. So it makes it a lot easier for us to actually do bone broth.
Who knew? It's easy. So I'm going to cut it in half, and then I'm going to quarter each half, just like this, for the broth, because we don't need to cut it up to really small. We don't need to be really make it really fine of any sorts, because once again, this is going to boil for a long time, so they're going to get around to it. Don't worry. Yes, you do. So after it's sat out for an hour for the apple cider vinegar and everything, then you will throw in your vegetables to bring it up to a boil and then start cooking it. Now, would there be any problem with you putting these in before when it is doing the soaking? Probably not. But it's just most people do put them in afterwards. So thank you for the question. I really appreciate it. All right, so we're going to throw everything in that we have going on. So once again, you can put whatever in that you would like. Now, usually the trinity that people talk about is carrots, celery, and then onions. So think 3 things of celery, two carrots, and 1 nice large onion is what you're usually be doing. So throw these in. I'm actually going to turn this on to get it going up so we can start the boiling process, and I can show you what we're going to do next on it. Okay. Continue with the onions. Also makes it a lot easier to put them in. And then like this, just come apart really nicely, just like that. So while we're sitting here patiently putting onions in and not crying, I do want to be able to talk to you about another subject. Okay. So another subject that I want to talk to you about this is that when you're making your bone broth, there are people that have struggles with getting their bone broth to be able to gel up and getting that good end product. So one of the reasons why they don't get the end product that they're looking for is a couple things. These are things to troubleshoot. So number one, the troubleshoot is that you don't have enough joint bones. You want to make sure that you have joint bones in there and enough of them so that you can get things to start gelling. Number two is that you have too much water. You can have too much water inside your bone broth, and by doing so, it's not going to help you out. So we need to make sure that we have just enough, but not too much. So like I said, just above the bones is what I go with, which for this one took me about a gallon for the bones. Yeah, I'm going to throw the skins in. Why not? Da-da-da. Right there. All right. So once again, it's not enough joint bones and too much water inside your broth can make it so that you do not get the result that you're looking for. All that nutrient dense stuff that you want inside of your broth. All right, so I've got this on high now, and I'm bringing it up. Yep. So I'm starting to bring it up now for you. So I'm going to take this time while the bone broth is going that I want to talk a little bit more. I want to talk a little bit more about bone broth. I want to talk a little bit more about why this is important for you guys and your family. Okay? So I'm gonna come back over to the board real quick, and I'm going to go over 1 or 2 more things for you. Okay. So I'm going to get very passionate here. So please stay with me. So what is the problem? I know I touched on it a little bit at the very beginning, but what is the problem that's going on in our world that needs bone broth? Well, to begin with, is that for a lot of people in the world, they struggle with their health. They struggle with getting the right nutrients. They struggle with, like I was saying before, the joints. We struggle with helping ourselves to go to be the optimal health that we want to be. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you are at the optimal health that you want to be? If not, why not? Why are you not there? Think about it. Really think about it. Because we walk through this world and we talk about how we want to do all these things. We want to be awesome. We want to be able to have energy. We want to be able to conquer the world. Well, what's stopping you from doing that? And why can you not accomplish that in your own life? That is definitely one of my big BHAGs, is helping people understand that. Big BHAGs is big, hairy, audacious goal. It's amazing. Get one, find one, do it. The world, I want to say, is in a time of distress. The world is in a time where we don't understand a lot about how our body works and how our food works with our body. Our food works together with us. It helps us. We work together with it. And without us providing the nutrients that it needs, it's not going to work. It's not going to work. If we don't change how we're doing things in our lives, then we are going to end up where we don't want to end up. Just like myself in that story, I was on my way to being what people said, having arthritis or other harder things with my joints. I was on my way to doing that. That's where most people are going to land. We don't have to be like other people that are getting older and they're having joint pains and these other struggles. That doesn't have to be us. That doesn't have to be our future. And if we don't address it, that's probably what your future is going to be like. That's what your future of your children are going to be like. If we don't take the stand today to be able to make that decision. So really the choice is up to you at the end of the day. What are you going to do? How are you going to help it? This is my way of helping it. I teach people how to understand their food, how to change and heal themselves. Bone broth is the beginning. Okay, bone broth is just one step in the right direction. I'm going to be able to draw you a little diagram real quick. Once again, just be able to, you can see things a little bit more. Is that we have our perfect person. And then we have another person. And what happens with this person when they don't get the nutrients they need? So I'm going to jump in a little bit more to the bone broth area. But the big thing that the bone broth gives us is collagen. And that's in our joints, okay? And over time, as we wear and tear, like me, I was doing CrossFit, as well as doing all those things with my wrists. Guess what happens? We put pressure. We start tearing. We start having that cushion. So this is our bones rubbing against each other. And all of a sudden, we start breaking down that collagen. And so what happens? We get inflammation. We get harshness right here in our knees, in our feet, in our wrists, even in our neck. It can happen anywhere. Shoulders, yeah. Anywhere there's a joint, there we're going to have problems with. And a lot of people, these are the areas where people do have problems with. Go find somebody. Ask them, do you have struggles with your joints? How about your knee? How about your wrists? Shoulders. People struggle with this. And it happens on a daily basis. And it happens to everyone around us. I hope you understand that. This is not what we want to live with. At least this is not what I want to live with. Do you? When really we could live at a much higher life or stage, or I guess point of abundance in our lives, where instead our joints are strong, just like that. Neck, shoulders, we can keep them nice and strong. So we want this right here. We don't want this. So where do you want to be? Where do you want to be 5 years from now, 10 years from now? What are you feeling? And how are you going to change? I want to help you with this. I very, very much want to help you with this because there's so much more for us to be able to understand, for us that we can do other than just bone broth in order to be able to help out with what is going on here. And I want to seriously help you out. I'm going to erase this real quick once again. So, as I said before at the very beginning, I am a traditional foods instructor. And I'm also an owner of a business called Champion Your Wellbeing, which is a nutritional education company. And I help educate people and teach them. Okay, I'm not going in there and I'm just doing everything for you, but I teach you how to be able to understand your foods, how to be able to prepare them, and also how to help you identify what to do next with your health and with your diet. And I want to be able to help you. I want to be able to be there to you, be there for you. And so I want to offer you something today. I want to offer you something that I know will help you out. So I have packages, one-on-one packages for people to be able to come and to be able to help them out. It's an 8-week program that I do. I teach them the 8 basic techniques of traditional food preparations. And I help walk you through, I help you implement it into your life, I help cater it to you as a person. Because we are all different, we're not the same. And you need something different than I need, and I need something different than you. If that strikes true to you, then it should. Because there's no one diet that fits all. Okay? Not at all. Won't find it, never will be. Okay? You are unique. And you being here are looking for something. And I know you are. And I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you for making a change in your own life. This is the first step. This is the first step, just being here. The second step is deciding if you want to continue forward your learning and your understanding of the foods to make even a bigger growth in your life. So the 8-week program that I offer with online trainings, worksheets, myself being there to help you either over a video call or in person if you guys live in St. George. I'm here to help you. So the video call class is usually, I have it at $1,000. It's for the package, everything that's encompassed in it. But for today, as you guys have taken the opportunity to be able to actually watch this video and be able to learn a little bit on your own, and that this is actually the last time that I will be here at the farmers market since it's the end of the season. I won't be here next week. I would like to be able to give you guys a special offer. So as I said, usually this is $1,000 for you guys today, and also I'm going to extend this for a week. It's going to be $697 for you today, and for you today and the next week. And all you have to do is just contact me, either here on Facebook or wherever else that you guys saw this video. Contact me through my email or through the message. Now the other one, for those who are looking for that but like to do it on their own, I also offer an online video training where you can walk through and learn these things on your own. Because some people do better that way, and I totally understand. And so that class package is actually $500. I'm actually going to use a different pen because these aren't showing up for me. There we go. Sorry. So once again, our 1,000, and then special offer for today and through till next week, $697. And then for the smaller online package, online training, like I said, it is usually $500. We're going to be getting the entire series of the 8 techniques that I was showing you that you get to keep for a lifetime. I'm not going to take that away from you. I want people to have this. Then you're also going to get a cookbook to go with it. One's going to come inside this package too, to be able to help have a hands-on one that you can read, and a membership to the Weston and Price Foundation, which is an organization that supports all these different techniques and also the farming techniques and holistical techniques for people's lives. So you have an organization to back you up. And for that, once again, that was going to be, special offer is $197 for today and for extending until the next week for you guys, because you guys took the chance. You guys stepped forward and made the first step towards bettering your own health. And I want to reward that. I totally want to reward that. So thank you for making this decision. You guys are changing not only your life, but the life of your family, and also anyone that comes in contact with you, your friends, and everyone like that. You are making a difference. I thank you. Seriously, from the bottom of my heart, I thank you for that. So, once again, these go till the next week. Please just email me or message me below inside the comments. This will probably be on Facebook, Instagram, wherever I can get it at. But thank you so much. This is really important stuff that we have going on here. We're affecting not just ourselves, but the next generation of people in this world. And you're the start of it. All right. I'm going to pull us back. I want to finish this up for you guys real quick on the bone broth and what we're going to be doing. So it is getting very close here. It's coming up to a boil. So that's what we want. We're going to bring it up to a boil. We want a nice rolling boil going on. And by doing that, what it actually does is that with any kind of produce or also any bones of any sorts, there's going to be little debris or scum on it. And we want to get rid of that because we don't want to put that in our bodies. No. We want the best we can get for our bodies, right? Exactly. So we're waiting for these bubbles to come up. And as they come up, we're actually going to skim them off. And we're actually going to get rid of them. So for this, you can use either a spoon, which is just easy. You can go around. But of course, what that does is that takes out some water out of the broth, and we don't really want that exactly. So if you are interested, you can go get yourself a skimmer. So this is a fine mesh skimmer. It's like a ladle, but it's got fine mesh right here. So that when you skim, it'll keep the foam on top, but any water is going to come out the bottom. All right? So I'm going to grab my little 1 cup measuring cup here. And I'm going to take my skimmer and I'm going to skim around. You might have to skim around just because I got the onions or whatever kind of produce that you have in here. All right, we're going to get that, see the little foam right there? Okay, just going to put it in here. That's all you're going to do. Just skim it off. There's going to be those little bubbles that come up. That's what we're looking for. Okay, so you'll skim those out. and have it up to a boil. And once you get it up to that boil, we're then going to reduce the heat. So we're gonna put the lid on, and we're going to reduce the heat down to low. Now, reason for that is because we want this to just simmer. That's what they say, simmer. But a better way to describe that is that if we can have it just having just like maybe every 10 seconds, there's a bloop on the top surface that disturbs it. Because we don't want a lot of bubbling or boiling coming from the top surface of this, because too high of a heat for too long is going to break down the protein and break down the fats. And we don't want that. We want all those nutrients for our bodies. So we want to make it so that it's just one bubble or two bubbles every 10 seconds, something like that. Or that we can keep the top totally still and just have these little bubbles rolling up. Okay? But not breaking the surface. And that is super, super ideal for you. So once we have it there, we're then going to let it cook. So for pork and beef, for any big mammal, it's going to be 24 to 48 hours that you're going to cook it for. And then for poultry, chicken, turkey, you're actually going to cook it from 6 to 24 hours. All right? It may sound like a lot of time, but the great thing about it is that you can stick it on your stove and you actually just forget about it for those 1 to 2 days. And then when it's done, then you turn it off and you go and take it out and you strain it out and you prep it to go. And it's that easy. No hard bit at all. All right? Now there's one little last part that maybe a lot of people might not talk about. Is that when this finishes up its boiling, right before, about 10 minutes before, what we want to do is we actually want to put parsley in there. Okay? Fresh is best, but you can also use dried, which I do use sometimes when I don't have access to it. You put the parsley in 10 minutes before. Reason behind that is because we're doing all these things to pull the nutrients out, right? And parsley has a specific, I guess you'd call it chemical, but I guess a mineral or vitamin mineral in it that when added to at the very end, it helps people to pull the last bit of that nutrients out. Now that may say, wow, that's kind of nitpicky, Chase. But I was like, no. What do we want? We want the most nutrient dense thing we can get. I'm not being nitpicky because I want the best food for my body. And you do too. And that's what we're creating here. So at the very end, we'll put the parsley in. We'll let it sit for 10 on that simmer, and then we'll take it off. And what you'll do is you'll just get a big strainer and a big bowl, and you'll strain it out. Just like that. Right? Strain it out. I mean, you can use tongs too. It could make some mess if you have all the meat just pouring out and everything like that. So strain it out. Take the bones, just throw it away, and then take your broth, throw it in the fridge, let it chill, and then divide it up. Divide it up into containers to freeze for later or to use right then and there. So some containers I like to use are some plastic containers like this. So when it's all nice and defrosted, nice and cool and it's gelled up, you can put inside plastic because then it's not going to have any heat to take the chemical out. So this is a perfect way to store it. Now I have done glass, but the broth expands and you break a lot of glasses. I've broken a lot of glasses. So please take my advice on this. Skip the glass for right now, unless you're really, really paranoid. Then go ahead. There's nothing wrong with it. Just be careful and leave it enough room. But I find that the plastic works really well. So that's what I highly recommend for you. Okay? So, in conclusion, let us end on this high note. Ladies and gentlemen, bone broth is one of the greatest beginning steps. And if this is all that you can do and implement into your life, then you will have seeded right? You will have succeeded in changing your health and your diet for the better. All right? And what I want to, once again, those three golden nuggets to remember is that we are providing gelatin for our body to help out our joints and our gut and aid digestion. We are strengthening and healing our connective tissues, our skin, our hair, our joints, our ligaments, and it is an easily absorbed nutrients. So it's an easy way to be able to get the nutrients that we want and we need into our bodies. Everyone, thank you so much. Thank you for your time. I know that this will be beneficial for you, for your family, for your friends. It's going to make a huge difference, and I appreciate you willing to be able to make a change. I hope you enjoy, and I look forward to helping you guys out later. So you guys have a great day. Thank you so much.